episode of The Lofty Lender. Today I'm joined by the head honcho of Midwest Family Lending himself, Chuck West. Chuck has been the driving force behind Midwest Family Lending since 1996 and has always aimed to make a positive impact in the communities he serves. From the beginning, Midwest Family Lending embraced a philosophy of saying yes. Yes to dreams, yes to goals, and yes to possibilities. With decades of experience in home lending, Chuck and the team have helped countless families achieve their dreams of home ownership and financial stability. Whether you are purchasing a new home or refinancing an existing one, Chuck's expert originators ensure that your financial needs are met with ease and efficiency. Chuck's dedication to continuous improvement keep Midwest Family Lending at the forefront of the mortgage industry. By offering the most innovative and flexible programs, his team ensures that each client receives a solution tailored to their unique situation. Beyond the programs and products, Chuck understands the importance of trust when making critical decisions about mortgages. Welcome to the show, Chuck.
Thanks, Kyle. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So, Chuck, you're my boss. I've worked for you for a while now, and I still don't understand how you made it from your past life, your past career, into this. Can you kind of walk us through your story?
Yeah, it's not that exciting, so I won't go into a ton of detail. But my previous life was I have a mechanical engineering degree. Jean, my wife, also she has a chemical engineering degree. And out of college, I went to work for Shell Oil and ended up in California. We were in California for 11 years, I think. Loved it, ran an oil field. Actually loved everything about it. High stress job, but I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. However, well, 2002, 2001, 2002, we had two boys, and we decided that this is not where we want to live. And based on where I was heading in that world, it was not going to get better as to where we wanted to live. Personal preference only. Obviously, there's plenty of people that do like the areas, but we wanted to get closer here. And a very short quip on that is, how do you know that this isn't where you want to live? When you live somewhere for 10 or 11 years and somebody asks you what you're doing for Christmas and you say, well, we're going to go home. If you live somewhere for 10 or 11 years and that's not home, that's a big problem. So we figured that out. At that time, my sister actually started Midwest Family Lending in 1996. At that time, she needed help. It was a reason to come back to an area we wanted to live in. So we did that, and somehow I'm still doing this. So that's where it's at. It's somewhat strange given that I've never done your job, but I'm very clear with you guys as far as I don't tell you how to drink your big gulp. You guys are the experts. I'm not, but it seems to have worked out.
Awesome. Well, and I can appreciate the going home piece because, there comes a time in which you've lived at a place long enough and you say, I want to have Christmas at our house. I don't want to go back to my parents' house anymore. That's not home to me anymore. Now home is here. So I can appreciate that. And being over in California, it's another country, right?
Right. Well, it's different.
So, what was growing about the business, or what did your sister? Why'd she call you in? She knew you had a chemical engineering background, or was it mechanical? Sorry, mechanical engineering background. Why did she bring you into mortgages? What was the correlation there?
Well, I think the correlation was business. At the time, I had already done engineering for several years. At the time, I was in charge, a manager of operations of a business unit of an oil field. So it's just business. It's dollars and cents. It's good decisions. It's personnel. It's that kind of thing. So it intrigued me. The business was growing. I think she was certainly more interested in the sales aspect of it and less in the business. And she was forthright about that and said, well, this would be a good partnership if we did that. And it was. And then kind of 2008 is when, it was, obviously you weren't part of that then, but 2008 was pretty rough. on everyone. And, at that point, she had decided that, what, she'd been doing it long enough. She was sick of it and wanted to wander off and do something else. So at that point, 2008 ish, she got out and I stayed, and here we are.
Awesome. So family is obviously prevalent to you. Obviously, you came back to help your sister out, and you moved back here to get the boys back here. So how has business played a role in the lives of your kids, your wife, your family, everything?
It's interesting continues to that continues to play itself out. My family, my father and I talked a lot about, when you grow up in small town South Dakota, you have no idea what the world is like out there, right? So you're like, the heck am I going to do? And math, science was fairly easy for me. I have very few other talents. I couldn't carry a tune in a bucket or anything like that. It was fairly easy. So, he and I talked about, so that's what got us into the engineering world. So that's kind of where it started. And then ironically, family, the combination of not wanting to raise the kids where we were, coupled with, a sister that was looking for help, actually got me out of the engineering world as well. So, and going forward, I mean, this job has been that was very it was a great job. It was very taxing. This role and this job has allowed the opportunities to spend much more time with family, coaching little league, coaching, football, playing sports with your kids, all that kind of stuff. So it's been a incredibly positive impact from that standpoint. And from an overall family standpoint, financial standpoint, it's no different than you. We all have our goals, and and the biggest goal is to make a positive impact not only on your children but on the community.
Yeah, and speaking to that, then, so let's take that one step further. How did Midwest Family Lending Cares, or MFL Cares, get started? And talk a little bit about that program.
Sure. Actually, that's my favorite program is my favorite part of the job at this point. But so in 2015, I think somewhere around Thanksgiving of 2015, our whole family was out in Colorado. We were skiing. We went to Mass on a Sunday morning. And I don't know why, but the connection. So it was all about giving, and it was, and he was very straight to the point about, hey, it's awesome to care. You can care. A lot of people can care, but caring does not make the impact that we really need to make. You have to give. It doesn't have to be financially. It can be, time, tools, talent, that kind of stuff. And it just, who knows? Maybe it's because we were spending a bunch of money, in a really nice part of the country, and we're sitting here and talking about, okay, what are we doing? That type thing. But it just made an impact and resonated. Gene and I, we have a 10-hour drive home the next day, and we probably spent 6 or 7 hours of that 10 hours talking about, well, how do we do that? What can we do? How do we do it? What's the impact? The probably the very boring part of it from your standpoint is that it was also the time I was there's a couple of books that I always go back to. One of them is Drive by Daniel Pink, and it's all about intrinsic motivation versus extrinsic. And this MFL Cares program thought, well, if we're going to do this, let's include the employees. It's not about us. It's about our family and our team. Let's really involve the employees and get them to drive the boat on this and get their buy-in and have it really, and allow them to feel the same way about these connections with these awesome causes out there. Um, so more from an intrinsic value versus extrinsic, and the that coupled together, just that's what we came up with. It's like, okay, Kyle, this is your month. You get to choose a cause that's near and dear to you. You bring them in. You talk. You have them talk to us about their causes, and we donate financially. Nothing earth shattering by any means, but boy, I do think we can make a huge impact by showing or sharing their story and growing the awareness of their organizations through our personal and professional networks. So that's what it's been about. I think it's been awesome. It's been very humbling to see. I think we're north of 80 different organizations that we've contributed to. Um, the large amount I've never heard of before when they came in. So shame on me, shame on us, but it's been awesome because the people behind these organizations are incredible.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy it. I think you do too, and the rest do as well.
And you say it's not a substantial or a huge amount when you're giving, but every dollar, every cent helps those nonprofits, especially that are out there struggling, trying to find ways to just do whatever they really desire. And like you said, not everyone really enjoys the business aspect of it. A lot of them do what they're doing because they love helping kids with disabilities or working with dogs that need to be trained or whatever that is. They don't like the business side of it. They like doing the fun stuff. And so, yeah,
It,
absolutely. I love the gain there.
exactly, and a lot of them have, their organization was born out of tragedy in many cases, and they've
Yeah.
turned it into this positive impact that they've had on the community, which is unbelievable. And so, from Gene and I standpoint, we've been, fortunate and blessed enough to not have some of those, events happen. So why would we start something else when we just decided, well, why don't we be the conduit between the community and the cause? Because they're already here, and they're already awesome organizations. So let's just try to help those guys out.
Love it. All right. So that's the heavy hitter stuff. So what's one thing that gets you out of the office? Something fun.
Well, golf gets me out of the office on Thursdays, most Thursday afternoons. You know, from a recreation standpoint, both Gene and I like being outdoors. We like being active. I enjoy it all. Whether it's some hunting or some fishing or some golfing or whatever. I'm really not good at any of it, but I
Don't
but I
lie.
really
We know you're
do.
a good golfer. You're a good golfer.
I'm. It's all relative. I'll tell you this: I'm a better golfer than I am a hunter or a fisher. I can tell you that part. But it's all relative. So, it's one of those things. It's what you grow up doing. Typically, when you're a kid, what your parents are into. Our kids are into it. I will tie that back to the family thing. My dad got me into golf when I was very young, and we spent a lot of time together playing golf. So, and we played just a real short story. We played in a two-person tournament every year up where they lived. Since he's passed away, actually, Matthew and I, my son, go and do that every year now. So yes, it's a sport, it's competitive, but it actually has the potential to bring you together, and gives you a reason to spend some awesome time.
What's amazing is even when it's raining, you're still gone on Thursday afternoons.
Oh,
So no one really
I'm
knows
not
what's
a
going
quitter,
on.
Kyle. I'm not a quitter.
Awesome. Well, I guess one thing that I want to know as far as where do you see Midwest Family Lending growing or going from here? What's the next 3 to 5 years look like?
It's interesting. I'm a 1 and 3 year plan person. I think you have to have the vision longer than that, but I think the 1 and 3 year plan has to make sense, and from a strategy standpoint, um, I see very positive things going on. I see from a market standpoint, I see it improving. From a company standpoint, I see it continue to improve. I think, I but I have tremendous belief in you and the rest of the loan originators on as we continue. This isn't. I get a kick out of people freaking out about AI and freaking out about oh hell, there's not going to be any more jobs left. They're going to do this. You know, we're not there, and we're not even close to there. And the difference between what you do and what a easy button does is night and day. And so I have a tremendous belief that we'll continue to grow market share because you guys continue to uh, show your talents and show why it's the most important transaction of these people's lives in many cases, and why caring and why take attention to details is such a difference. So I see it continuing to grow. I don't see step changes. I'm way too old to decide, hey, we're going to do this and we're going to grow into Florida and then we're going to grow into these other states. And that's not on my radar. I'm very content growing in the locations that we're growing because it's people I know and trust.
So, fun question for you. If you had a magic wand, what are 3 things you would change about the business, yourself, or anything else in the world right now? 3 things out there.
Wow. If I had a magic wand, 3 things I could change. From a business standpoint, it's interesting. I think we continued. I think the world and the country and in the from a demographic standpoint, as we continue to go through, we want everything to be quicker, and we want it to be less intrusive, and we want instant gratification. Some of that stuff. I think some of these things, our world, that does not benefit the customer. I think the customer taking the time to find out the best solution for their situation has very, very has the potential to be very large financial positive impacts for them for a long period of time. And I just don't think it shouldn't be a 12-minute conversation. Here's my stuff. Tell me what I got, blah, blah, blah. So, and I know that you're on the same page as that. From a larger standpoint, I don't even know how to articulate it. If I had a magic wand, the political landscape would be completely different than it is. And I want, and that's from both sides of the fence.
There's a country over in Africa that has like 7 or 9 different political parties, and you don't get 2 choices. You have 7 or 9 choices. Like, everybody really has to apply their, understanding of the topics at hand. So I would love it if we had something like that. I know it's never going to happen, but I would love something like that where you just had choices. Your choice wasn't Kanye West. I mean, nobody's picking Kanye West. Come on.
Yeah. Good last name. But.
All right, let's get into the quick picks here. So this is the next segment that's it's whatever comes to mind. First thing comes to mind. If you want to expand upon it, you can go ahead and do so. Otherwise, just tell me the first thing that comes to your thought. Sweet or savory?
Savory.
Hot drink or cold drinks?
I never drink anything hot. I never have, and I just never will. Simple answer, cold.
Yeah. Steak or seafood?
Easily steak.
Favorite music genre?
Country. Thanks to my wife.
Favorite kind of pizza?
Sausage.
Are you a weirdo that puts pineapple on their pizza?
No, that's not pizza.
Well, I mean, do you go to Fong's? Fong's is pizza, right? They've got some interesting ones on there.
I know. I'm too simplistic for that.
Reading a book or listening to a podcast?
As you know, I start a lot of meetings with, well, I was reading, but I've always told everybody when I say I was reading, it means I was listening, because I'm pretty sure I can read. I think I could if I had to, but I'm a listener.
Comedy or horror movie?
No horror. Comedy.
Golf trips with your friends or with your wife?
It used to be with my friends, and um, it's equally with Gene as well. But what we've started to do is it's a couples golf trip, and actually I enjoy that more than the others.
Has Jean gotten better at golf over the years so that it's more fun to go with her?
Gene's very athletic. She is a good golfer. She's probably
No
better than
offense
I
to
am.
my wife, she'll hear this later, but she's not that athletic. And golfing with her is kind of a struggle. She knows it. But, getting her lessons and getting her playing more and stuff, I think we could have a lot of fun going on trips. But same thing.
Yeah.
For now, it's golfing with friends.
Yep.
Biggest pet peeve you have?
Oh, that's a that just the negative um, the negativity of the quick trigger negativity of just people that are kind of growing in um, kind of in general. I'll tell you that one thing that resonated with me a long time ago, and I've kind of always stayed with it, is the that quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson about people do not seem to realize that their opinion of the world is also a confession of character. So you can think about that for a while, but it's like,
Yeah.
because I find myself having a negative opinion of something, and I'm like, okay, time out. I don't know that person. I've never met that person. I have this or that. Why would I be negative about it? So it's really, uh, uh, I go back to that a lot. But it's, hey, let's be positive.
But getting your lottery winnings in a lump sum or over monthly installments?
Lump sum, show me the money.
We're all back on red. Early
Right.
bird or night owl?
Thanks to my wife, I'm now an early bird because she is not a night owl. So neither am I.
Mullet or mohawk?
Mullet.
Terrible. Introvert or extrovert?
I have an engineering degree. Of course, I'm an introvert.
Party or small gatherings?
Small gatherings.
What was your first job?
Well, on the farm. I didn't grow up on a farm, but I grew up in a community that was 750 people. So the first job was picking rocks, walking beans, hauling bales, scooping crap.
Like you got paid a lot for that.
Not nearly enough.
Taylor Swift or Britney Spears?
I'm not qualified to answer. I would say Taylor Swift.
All right, so getting into the last topic here, so the trending topic, last segment. Given that mortgage guidelines are constantly evolving and vary significantly between lenders, each offering different products and criteria, how can borrowers effectively navigate these complexities to find the best mortgage solution? And what role does an expert, licensed, and local loan officer play in simplifying this process and ensuring that borrowers secure the most suitable mortgage options for their specific needs?
Wow, that's a mouthful. Um, okay, I think I got it. Just like many things in life, one size does not fit all. That is very apparent in our business. I mean, so let's make an analogous to buying a suit or a dress. Okay, you can buy it off the rack, or you can go buy one and get it tailored to fit you. You would be a good example of this because I'm probably sure you can't buy much off the rack.
Nope.
But for example, um, the importance of the event probably determines if you're just going to buy one off the rack. If you're going to go to an office party, maybe you buy it off the rack. Not an office party here because no one's wearing a suit, but somewhere else. You would buy it off the rack. But for your wedding, more than likely you're going to get that tailored fit so it's just right and best fits you. It's very analogous to coming in for a mortgage or buying a house. Um, there is a best fit. There is a best program. There is a best amount of money to put down. There's a best rate to get. There's for your personal situation. That situation is more than encompassing just your house. It encompasses your entire financial, uh, really portfolio. So, um, so if you make it analogous to that, the purchase of a house is probably the most expensive thing you purchase. It's probably the biggest financial decision you've made. So just one size fits all off the rack doesn't make a lot of sense for that situation. So that's where you guys come in. This isn't a me thing because this isn't what I do. It's what you guys do. It's what you're really good at. You're basically the tailor, and um, and to that point, I think you and I would both agree that the best way to do this is for people to come in, meet, talk about their entire situation, spend the time on it, provide the information. I mean, you wouldn't really mail your measurements into your tailor and have them spend money on putting a suit together that they didn't measure. In fact, they probably wouldn't do that anyway. But so from this situation, we're the licensed mortgage originator, the you guys of the world. I think that's where the value is. It's not it's the best product and best mortgage, not for that house, but for that family. And the impact is both short term and long term a very large impact because it impacts again more than just the mortgage. Impacts consumer credit, it impacts student loans, it impacts all kinds of stuff. So if I understood the question, that's the difference. The value is um, it's worth the time for the professional, which is Kyle and everybody else, from the LOs in here, to put you in the perfect situation or perfect product for your situation.
I love that. And I actually had somebody in the office yesterday that I sat down. We spent 90 minutes. We went over all their goals, all their plans. What I thought was maybe what they wanted is not at all what they wanted. Once we sat down, we reviewed the options. We, took our time to go through everything. And going through it in person is also a big deal. And a lot of places are not going through stuff in person. They want to do everything over the phone or online. And if I can have someone in person, or even if it's on a Zoom call, I will do that every day, every night, because it's so much more valuable in helping people understand their options and making them feel comfortable about it.
Completely agree, and I think that's the difference. And people, and we're all similar and cut from the same cloth as far as I don't trust anybody I've never met. I don't distrust them, but I don't trust you to here's my information, But if you get to know them, if you sit across from them, if you understand that they're really in for your best interest, then some of that other stuff comes out and you get the real story on what the real uh, goals are, and then you can help them. And so that's what sounds like what went down yesterday. Yep, which is awesome.
Well, Chuck, thanks for being on the show today. I appreciate it. If anybody out there noticed, the biggest word I think of the day today is family. We talked about company being Midwest Family Lending. We talk about Midwest Family Lending Cares, MFL Cares program. Chuck started this or came into this because of family with his sister and his wife, and he came up with the idea of MFL Cares as part of his family. And he moved his family from California out here. So family is the way I feel about the organization, being part of Midwest Family Lending. I feel like I'm part of the family. I feel like, everywhere I turn, I've always got people I can talk to, go to. And I really think that we try to give that family feeling to a lot of the people we work with and a lot of our real estate partners, financial advisors, all those people we work with. We try to make them feel like family as well. So just again, Chuck, thank you for so much. If people want to learn more about Midwest Family Lending, we sending them to the MidwestFamilyLending.com webpage.
Yep, yep, yep. And if
Awesome.
you're looking for professional advice, call. You get to the website. There's a bunch of you listed on there. Call one of you. Don't call me. I'm not qualified, but Kyle and everybody else is.
And I think I'll be updating my hashtag this week to Tall Tailor Man now that Chuck's calling me a tailor. So Tall Money Man might go by the wayside here. We'll see.
There you go.
Well, everyone, thanks so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this podcast, please like, subscribe, and share it with others who might love it as well. You can catch the full episode in all major platforms and YouTube. Your support means the world to me and helps to continue to bring exciting guests. Stay curious, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, Kyle.